Hi, persistent pineapples. So just as a refresher, during our Sanford and Harmony, which is a social emotional, it's like a check-in and how are you doing and how are you feeling, we are reading the telescope. That was the story, that was the sign for you to listen to. I hope you enjoyed it. And some of the question was, why is it nice to have friends that have things in common with you? Why is it also nice to have friends that are different than you in some ways? So we've been talking about that, how it's great to have friends that have things in common with you. In common means alike. Some of you there's 2 or 3 of you that love basketball, and you can play basketball together. There's some of you that love to dance. There's some of you that love to play dolls. There's some of you that might like to swim. It's cool to have those friends that have that in common with you, because then you automatically know, well, let's go play basketball. You want to play with my dolls? You want to play together? But when you have a friend that likes something completely different, and that is like, let me show you our characters. Maddie and Kenny. So they liked different things. Kenny loved video games, and he just wanted to hang out with his friends who played video games. Maddie loved space, and she loved to learn about the planets, and she had a new telescope, and she wanted him to look through it and play with her. She asked him to lunch. She tried so many ways, and he kept saying, no, not interested. That sounds boring. But then he ended up going to Max's house, because Max had a book of his. And while Max was looking for that book, what did Maddie do? She swooped right in and thought, you know what? Why don't you just check it out while Max is looking for the book? And so that's what they did. Let me find that page. And he saw this, the solar system. He thought, that's really cool. I didn't know it was so interesting. And then he had a connection, because remember we talked about as readers, we make connections. Well, he had a connection. Let me find that page. He loved the planet Jupiter, and she said, that's Jupiter. It has a lot of storms. And he said, cool. I have a video game called Space Explorers, and Jupiter is level 5, and I can't ever get past level 4. So he had a connection. That's pretty cool. And then she explained to him, what is this ring of stuff floating next to Jupiter? He said, that's the asteroid belt. And so what happened was, he had another connection. He said, no wonder I can't get past level 4. Every time I try to fly from Mars to Jupiter, my spaceship crashes into things. It must be hitting rocks in the asteroid belt. And she said, I bet you could fly over it to make it to level 5. So you see, they ended up having something in common, and at the end, he said to her, do you want to come to my house and play Space Explorers? I'll bet we'd make a really good team. So finding those things in common that you have in common is helpful, but it's also nice to do something that's different from you. Just like Puppy Pineapple and Pete the Cat yesterday, they couldn't decide what to do. Chase mice, chase the ball. They both knew they liked to run, so they took turns. Compromise. Today, for our I Am Awesome, because we're talking about diversity, we're talking about what is wonderful about you, and there is so much, and Miss Lee Hockey and I really want to learn all these fabulous things about you. Yesterday we did I Am Awesome, and it was I know a lot about cooking, because it was something you know a lot about. I'm still waiting for some submissions. I hope that you guys are doing that today and writing your sentence. Today, we're going to say, I am really good at. Well, Miss M thought about it, because sometimes it's hard to think of things that you're good at, because, you know, it's like, what am I good at? I don't really think. And I decided I'm really good at knitting scarves. Because I'm like a beginner knitter, but, so I don't do big things like sweaters or hats, but I do know how to make a scarf, and I'm good at it. I thought, I'm going to make that. I'm going to write, I am good at making scarves. So we're going to start with our writing, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is get my marker out, and remember, every sentence begins with a capital letter. we're going to write. We're going to write with our nicest, neatest handwriting because that's important. Let me bring this closer. Can you see it okay there, boys and girls? Okay. So I'm going to write I. That's the word I, and you know that's a nice word for you to know. I, finger space, am, because every word has their own space. The letters are side by side, but there's space in between each word. I am good. What's the first sound you hear in good? G. I am good. This has got the same two O's like the word cooking we did yesterday. Good. At. That's one of our Letterland words. I'll bet you know how to spell it. At. You're right, Annie Apple. Talking test. I am good at, now I'm going to write knitting scarves. This is a tricky word because it begins with a K and not an N. The K is silent. Knitting, just like in the word cooking, we have ing at the end. Knit. Okay, now I'm going to write the word scarves. We have a finger space, and we're going to write scarves. And I have a period at the end. Yesterday I put an exclamation mark because I was so excited. This time I'm just writing, I am good at knitting scarves. Stop. That's my period. So now I have to draw myself knitting a scarf. So remember, I draw my person. I want to draw my face. Just do a circle. And I'm going to draw, remember we said the neck can be a number 11. And I'm going to draw a square. And today I'm going to have a skirt on. So I'm going to go like that. 2 lines and then a line across. I'm going to draw my legs and my feet. Okay. And now I'm going to do my hair. I'm going to make my hair down. Okay, I'm going to draw my eyes, my nose, and my mouth because I'm happy I'm knitting scarves. So here, I'm going to draw my arms out like this. Five fingers. And I'm going to have some knitting needles. And on this is me. This is like my scarf. Okay, I'm knitting this scarf with some thread hanging. Maybe it's attached to the knitting needles. I need to be somewhere. So I have my line of horizon because there is a ground. Okay, I got my line of horizon and I'm knitting my scarf here. And I think I'll be inside my house. Maybe there's a window here, and the door is here, okay? And I'm standing here and do a little chimney, maybe a sunshine, okay? So here I am, I'm knitting my scarf. So make sure when you do your picture that you have some details. Let's read our sentence together, ready? I am good at knitting scarves. And here I am knitting a scarf inside my house. What are you good at? I want you to think about something you're really good at. Okay? See you later. Bye-bye.